Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi, I'm Manusha. I am a CT2, that's co-trainee year 2 in the specialty psychiatry here in London. Today's video is about PLAB visa. So I'm going to start a series called the PLAB series, where in the subsequent videos I'm going to talk about PLAB 1, PLAB 2, what happens after PLAB, how to get your GMC registration, job applications, etc, etc. But today's video is about PLAB visa. I put out an Insta story on my Instagram page a couple of weeks back and you guys sent in a lot of questions, so I'm going to be addressing those questions today and also completely stage down all the process and the steps that lead to you applying and attaining your PLAB visa. Alright, so without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. So what type of visa do you apply when you're coming to UK to give your PLAB exam? You apply for the basic general tourist visa. So where to apply for the visa? The one website where you apply for, whether it's your tier 2 visa or your PLAB visa or your tourist visa, it would be the VFS Global website. What's the cost of the visa? Obviously the cost of visa changes kind of every year. It depends even on the conversion rate and things like that. Currently it's somewhere approximately 8,000 Indian rupees. I will link down a couple of websites where you've got all the information and also the VFS Global website down in my description box if you want to have a look at it. But yeah, roughly right now it's 8,000 INR in Indian currency. Right, so when to apply for the visa? Roughly, I would suggest you can apply for the visa 3 months prior to your travel date. Further down in the video, I'm going to talk about my timeline and when I applied for the visa and what my journey was. I would recommend you applying for the visa roughly 2.5 to 3 months prior to your date of travel. What would be the duration of this visa? So the PLAB visa, which is the tourist visa, would be the usual 6-month duration visa that you would get. So what is the sequence of application? First, you would apply for the visa on the VFS Global website. Then you would pay for your application fees. You would upload all the supporting documents that you need for your visa. Then you would go for your visa appointment and you would provide your biometrics over there, and then you would wait for your visa confirmation and then your visa arrives. Alright, what are the supporting documents that you need for your visa? I'm going to divide this category into 5 subcategories. So the first one would be your proof of identity. Your first proof of identity would be your passport, and your passport needs to have validity for the next 6 months. So it shouldn't be expiring in the next 6 months. The second bit of your proof of identity would be, say if you're from India, then your Aadhaar card, or like you can have any gas bills, your electricity bills, or rent bills, or bills basically surrounding your house, which has your name and your address proof on it. Your identity proof and your address proof. Then second bit would be proof of sponsorship. So the support documents for that would be, if you're sponsoring your own trip, then you would need to require your bank statements of the last 6 months. If somebody from your family, say your parents or any uncle or any close relatives, are going to be sponsoring you, then you need to provide their account statements of the last 6 months along with your own bank statements of the last 6 months. Ideally, what I would recommend is that if, say, your father or your mother is going to be sponsoring you and they would have transferred a certain amount of money to your account, if you show their bank statements and your bank statements, that kind of correlates that you've got certain amount in your account because they are supporting you, they are sponsoring you, and that bank transaction shows. So yeah, so your own bank statements, your parents or your closest relatives' bank statements, whoever is sponsoring you. Then you would need a letter from that sponsor saying that, I so-and-so is willing to support so-and-so for their trip to UK for whatever reasons it is. If the need arises that they need any further financial help while they are in UK, then I'm willing to support them there as well. A letter of support from your sponsor, whoever is sponsoring you. Then you would need their proof of identity. So I added like my parents' Aadhaar card details, like a copy of their Aadhaar card, then also a copy of their passport. So things like that, you would need identity proof of the person who is sponsoring you. And lastly, you would need their income tax return papers. So I provided income tax return papers of both my parents of the one previous financial year. Then would be the documents supporting your cause of travel or your reason of travel to UK. First of all, I showed my exam confirmation. So GMC sends you an email confirming whenever you've booked your exam, whether it's PLAB 1 or PLAB 2. So I printed out that email copy. So that would be your confirmation letter for your exam. Then you would show your accommodation booking. So the duration you're staying, you need to show an accommodation wherever you're staying. If you're staying with someone else, then that person can send a letter saying that so-and-so person is going to be staying with me. Then the third bit you would need to show is your flight tickets. So you need to show a return flight ticket. I'm not suggesting you need to book the tickets. You can ask a travel agent or any travel company to just show a booking confirmation, but not really booked, you know, like tentative dates, suggesting these will be the flights that I will be taking. So you can attach those details as well. I did not mention about any PLAB Academy or any course that I'm going to be taking, and I will comment about this further down in the video, but I just showed these 3 documents supporting my reason for travel: my exam confirmation, my flight tickets, and my accommodation booking. So for the documents that support your case, I showed my MBBS qualification, that's my MBBS degree. Then I showed my medical license to practice in India. So I showed the Maharashtra state medical license. So if you've got that, or whichever state or whichever country, you can show that you are a qualified doctor. And before you book your PLAB 1 or PLAB 2, you would have these things in place anyway, so you can show a copy of that. Then I showed my IELTS certificate, that I've given IELTS and I've cleared IELTS and these are my scores. You would have these things anyway in place if you're coming here for PLAB 1, PLAB 2, so you can attach that as well. And if you're coming for PLAB 2 exam, then you can show your pass letter or pass email of passing PLAB 1 exam, so you can add that. But if you're coming here for PLAB 1, then you obviously wouldn't have that. Then you can just give your IELTS and your primary medical qualification and your license from whichever country you belong to. Alright, so the last bit, which is the most important bit and people do not talk enough about it, it's the cover letter. I wrote probably a 7-8 page cover letter, and I've used it almost every time I have applied for a visa to UK before I got the tier 2 visa. I completely broke down my whole journey of, you know, what I've done, like in terms of my academics. Like I did my medical school from there, and I've given my IELTS exam, I've given my PLAB exam, and I'm coming here for PLAB 2 exam. These are my exact dates of travel, these are my flight tickets, this is the place where I'll be staying, these are my bank statements, I have so and so amount to support my, you know, stay duration. Everything I like at length wrote a letter. Even if you have submitted all the supportive documents, I would still recommend writing a cover letter where you can completely describe any kind of, you know, queries that they might have, and if the supporting documents don't add up, you can explain your entire bank transaction. If suddenly there's a money that's come in, that is because your sponsor has sent you the money, that's your parent or your relative or whoever. Even if it's so visible and out there, I would still recommend that you write it down and, I don't know, like break it down for them. Imagine basically that these people who are like sitting in the office and are going to go through your documents or whatever, however the system is, I don't know, think that obviously they are strangers and you are a stranger to them, and you need to make it crystal clear and break down the whole, you know, supportive documents or whatever. So I would suggest that you should write a cover letter no matter what, explain everything. Yeah, I mean, you'd rather be safe than be sorry later, so do not miss out on this point of writing a cover letter. I've written a cover letter even when it's a tourist visa to go to Europe or go to US. Even if it's not required, I wrote a cover letter. I would suggest you writing a cover letter no matter what. Do not skip this step, guys. Really genuinely supports your case of getting a visa. I'm not saying that if you don't write a cover letter you will not be getting a visa, but almost everybody I know who's written a cover letter has gotten a visa, including me, and I speak from experience. So do write a cover letter. It doesn't have to be like, you know, something extraordinary letter that you're going to get into some college or something. It's basically to support your case and explain, you know, that so and so is the reason why I'm going, and I do plan on coming back because I'm going to be on a tourist visa. Alright, so how do you receive your visa? The services you choose during your application period of, you know, applying for your visa on the website is the services you get. So either you can choose to receive it via post, so it gets couriered to your home, or you can pick up the option of going and picking it up from the VFS Global office. Alright, so my own journey of applying for visa. I applied for visa for the first time in 2017. I applied for it in June, in mid-June, somewhere around 15-17 June. I don't remember the date, but it was mid-June, I remember. And I was supposed to travel in September first week, so I applied 2.5 months prior to my date of travel. I picked up the center in Hyderabad because that's where I used to live. I had my visa appointment date in beginning of July. So when I went in there, gave my biometrics, and I obviously wrote a top-notch cover letter along with my parents' bank statements. So my parents were sponsoring my visa application. I wasn't working at that point. So I submitted both my parents' bank statements. I submitted both their income tax returns for 1 year. And along with that, I also submitted my sister's proof of identity. I submitted her passport details. And I also submitted a few property papers just to show that there's a strong reason for me to come back to India. I'm not going to be overstaying in UK during my, tourist visa period. So yeah, that was an extra piece of document that I submitted. I did my biometrics in beginning of July and I received my visa within, I think within 14 working days. So yeah, it was somewhere around, third week of July I received my visa, and I picked up the service of them sending it via post to my place because I wasn't living in proper Hyderabad. I used to live in Ramagundam, which was I think 4.5 hours away from Hyderabad. So that was my whole journey with PLAB UK tourist visa. I've got a few questions that you guys sent to me on my Instagram. How much bank balance is required? So basically, the bank balance that's required should add up to your duration of stay. For example, it's a week, and say you roughly in your letter write that these will be my expenses per day, then just multiply it into 7 but have twice the number that it suggests. I showed 1 week duration stay for my PLAB 1 exam. I had roughly around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds. I really don't remember the amount right now, but somewhere around that in my account for 1 week stay, which is obviously a lot. I'm not going to be spending 1,500 to 2,000 pounds in a week, but I just wanted to be on the safe side and I showed that much. I'm not saying that is how much you should be showing. Yeah, but if in your letter you say that you will be staying at someone's place and obviously your expenditures completely go down, or if you are saying that someone else is going to be supporting you here in UK, like you've got family or something, obviously your expenditures are going to be much low. But if you're going to be living in an Airbnb like I did, or you're going to be staying wherever, and then in your cover letter you write that this is how much I'll be spending per day, and then you add it to the number of days, and then just have twice the amount just to be on the safe side. That's all I would say. Should I mention about PLAB 2 coaching? Alright, this is such a controversial question, to be very frank. I did ask about this so many times on the PLAB groups on Facebook. I asked my friends and nobody gave me a crystal clear answer that should I be suggesting about PLAB 2 Academy or not. And I thought that let me just not suggest it at all. So when I came for my PLAB 2 exam to UK, I obviously wasn't staying for a week. I was staying for a month and a half. And what I wrote in my application, the cover letter, was that I plan on staying for so and so days, just because PLAB 2 exam is an OSCE exam and I want to get used to giving it, because I've got a few friends with whom I plan on practicing during those weeks. I don't know if you should be mentioning or you shouldn't be mentioning, because there are people who do mention it and get visa, there are people who don't mention it and get visa, so it's up to you. But I'm going to speak from experience. I didn't mention it and I got the visa. So next is, can you get a 2-year visit visa for PLAB 2 from India, especially if you have previously been to UK before? I think there are longer stays with regards to tourist visas in UK. They obviously cost a lot. You don't need a 2-year visa to come to UK to give your PLAB exam. You can get it done in like 6 months visa that you have. If you're coming only for PLAB 2 exam, it should be fine. No, I don't think you need 2-year visa, but can you get it? Of course, if you got the money and if you want a 2-year tourist visa, then you can apply for it. No one's going to stop you. What's the process to apply and how long will it take to arrive? Well, if you've been watching this video from the start, then you know I've completely described the whole process, and it takes roughly around, I think 14 to 15 working days for your visa to arrive. What documents are needed for PLAB 1 visa, and what are the tips to minimize visa rejection? Well, I just mentioned all the documents that are needed to apply for your PLAB visa, which is the tourist visa. And the tips for minimizing your rejection would be, I think you should, no matter what, not miss out on cover letter. Everything that you submit should obviously add up, like your bank statements should add up, what you're suggesting, how much you're going to be spending and how many days you're going to be staying should add up. Other than that, I would also say that be honest and it should be fine. They're not sitting there to not grant you visa. You just need to remember that they're sitting there to give you the visas. Do we need to book stay, flight, PLAB exam, PLAB Academy before applying for visa? Alright, I'm going to just speak from experience. I booked everything except for the PLAB Academy. I did not book that. I came here and decided on the, the academy and everything. I did say that you don't have to book flights, but I did, just because I didn't want to book it closer to the date of travel and spend a lot of money. So I booked it 3 months in advance. But yeah, I booked everything. I booked my flights, I booked my stay, I booked obviously the PLAB exam. I needed the confirmation letter to be, applying for the visa. So other than the PLAB Academy, I booked everything. But for everybody else, I would say that don't have to book your flight tickets. Just show the tentative dates you plan, get an agent to just make like an itinerary for you. Accommodation also also you can show that, you know, I plan on staying at so and so place and these will be the expenses for so and so date, so I have this much of money in my account to be booking this place. If you haven't booked anything, then you need to obviously be having much more money in your account, because then you plan on booking, if that makes any sense. Next is, should I apply by myself or get it done by an agent? Guys, I mean, this is something so controversial again. I don't know, few people are comfortable getting things done via an agent. I don't feel comfortable putting, you know, my life's responsibility in a stranger's hands. I have never done any visa process via any agent. I've traveled even, you know, on the tourist visa to US and even to Europe, and I have never ever gone via an agent. I always look up on the official government websites and see what are the things that are needed and just get them all together and submit it. And it's very crystal clear, the whole process. You do not need an agent. I mean, basically what I'm saying is what the agent is going to tell you and charge you money for it. But if you feel comfortable that, you know, you're going to be relaxed and not have stress and someone else is going to look into it, then fine, by all means do that. But again, I look at it as, you know, waste of money, but that's just me. But it's up to you. If you want to go through an agent, you can do it. Should I stay till results come out and complete GMC registration while on PLAB visa? Well, you can stay if you've got a 6 months visa and you've completed your PLAB 2 exam, you're waiting for your results, you can apply for clinical attachment here in UK. I mean, it all depends upon, you know, you financially supporting yourself. If you've got the money to stay longer till your results come out, it's completely fine. But you just need to remember that it's not like your PLAB 2 results will come out today and you'll get your GMC registration done the next day, because to get your GMC registration as well, you need a lot other supporting documents from your university and from other things. I will make a complete video about GMC registration later on down the line. But if you have that much of time and that much of finances to be staying here while you're just waiting for results, then you can, and you can utilize that time to do clinical attachments. I mean, you can't be really giving job interviews without your PLAB 2 result and a GMC registration. But yeah, you can be doing clinical attachments during that window period. I've heard getting PLAB visa is really tough. Chances of rejections are high. There is nothing called getting PLAB 2 visa is really tough. It's not. Everybody who is an IMG and is working in the UK did get their PLAB 2 visa, did come to UK and give the exam, pass it, and are working here on a tier 2 visa now. It's not difficult to get PLAB 2 visa. It's just as any other visa. You just need to have the right supporting documents and the right reason to travel, and yeah, you'll get it. It's not really tough. Is it difficult to get from Delhi Embassy? No, it shouldn't be. Why would Delhi Embassy differentiate from the Chennai Embassy or any other embassy in India? No, I don't think. Just to answer your question in one word, no. When is the ideal time to book PLAB visa? Before or after booking the exam? You have to book the PLAB visa after you've booked your exam, because the reason you're coming and the reason you're applying for your visa is for the PLAB exam. So if you haven't booked the PLAB exam, you cannot just say that, oh, I plan on traveling to UK for my PLAB exam without having a PLAB exam confirmation. Does that make sense? So you need to book your PLAB exam first before booking your PLAB visa. What should be stated as the purpose of visit in case one plans to stay for 6 months? If you plan to stay for the entire 6-month period, I don't know anyone who stayed on a tourist visa for 6 long months. There really needs to be a reason why you plan on staying for 6 months, because if you're doing a PLAB 2 course and then giving a PLAB exam, it shouldn't be more than a month and a half that you plan on staying here. I don't know how to answer this. You can probably say that then you're planning on staying back with family or friends you have here, or you plan on traveling and exploring. But then you need to remember that your bank balance needs to be really high. If you're planning on staying in the UK for 6 months on a tourist visa, you need to have really strong supporting documents, and you really need to have a good reason for staying back here for 6 months. What I would suggest is that you can say that you plan on staying for a month and a half and get the visa for 6 months, and then you can extend your return ticket. Does that make sense? Once you've entered here, you anyway would be here on a visa for 6 months, and you cannot be overstaying in UK for more than 180 days if you're on a tourist visa. That doesn't apply for tier 2 visa or any other visa. But yeah, if you're on a tourist visa, you can't stay for more than 180 days at a stretch. You can say you'll be staying for a month and a half and then probably extend your stay, because I mean, that's completely fine. It's all in your right because you've got a visa here. If you don't have assets of your own or don't have a job at present, how can you show ties to apply for visa? Well, I was in the same place. I did not have a job, and obviously I don't own any property in India. My parents had properties. I showed their bank statements and I showed my relationship to them, that I am their daughter obviously, and I showed whatever property and everything that they own. If you've got family and you just show and prove your relationship with them, that should be good enough. What if I'm done with PLAB process and I'm still on visiting visa but unable to update it? Alright, I'm a little confused. So if you're done with your PLAB process, like if you've done your PLAB 2, if you've gotten your GMC registration, you should be going back to your home country and apply for tier 2 visa. You cannot be on a tourist visa in UK and extend it to tier 2 visa. You need to be going back to your home country. So you apply for your tier 2 visa from your home country. You can't be applying for it from UK. I think we've come to the end of the video. There were a lot more other questions about tier 2 visa, about dependent visa and other kinds of visa. I did not want to address those questions in this video because this was strictly about PLAB visa. I will be making further more videos down the line about dependent visa and about tier 2 visa and etc, but this was only about PLAB visa. This is going to be a PLAB series, so the videos that are going to come after this are all going to be related to PLAB. This was the end of the episode 1 of PLAB series. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you still have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask them down in the comment section below. This is a very humble and gentle request. Please do not send me any DMs about these questions on my Instagram, just because I keep answering the same question to 10-15 different other people every day. So I just end up deleting them because I've answered them in my videos or in my comment section on YouTube, and it's a nice way to put it out on a public platform and not just do it in personal DMs, because it might help someone else. That's the whole intention of it. So please, if you have any other queries, drop it down in the comment section below. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, then please do. We've crossed 3,000 subscribers. I can't believe it. But yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you're looking after yourself and your loved ones. And also, if you have any further questions or you want to watch more information about PLAB, I did make a video a couple of months back. I'll put it up over here so you can head to that and watch it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.